We often hear it said, all a man needs is love. But what if that's not true? What if there are deeper emotional needs that quietly shape how a man feels about a woman, how connected he stays, and how long he remains emotionally available? Especially when it comes to older women dating or in relationships with men, love isn't always the glue holding everything together. In fact, love can fade, but certain emotional needs, when met, bind a man more powerfully than any grand romantic gesture. This isn't about manipulation or game playing. It's about understanding what most men don't even know how to ask for, but deeply crave. Let's explore the 4 emotional needs men crave more than love, and how older women, through wisdom, experience, and presence, can meet these needs in ways that younger women often can't. Love alone is not enough, and most women don't know what's missing. Let's be honest, many relationships fall apart even when love is present. You care for each other, there are shared memories, maybe even passion, but something is off. The connection begins to fade. He pulls away, becomes distant, less engaged. You're left wondering, but I love him. Isn't that enough? Here's the hard truth. Love alone doesn't sustain a man emotionally, especially as men grow older and begin reevaluating their purpose, their emotions, and their needs. What keeps him grounded in a relationship is not just how much you love him, but how emotionally safe, seen, and fulfilled he feels in your presence. In a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, 2017, researchers found that men rated emotional validation and respect higher than romantic love when asked what keeps them connected in long-term partnerships. Why? Because men are rarely taught how to process emotions, yet they deeply need that emotional nourishment. And when an older woman understands how to meet these needs, not with drama or expectations, but with grounded presence, a man will stay, grow, and deepen the connection in ways love alone never could. What happens when these emotional needs are ignored? When these 4 needs go unmet, it doesn't always lead to loud fights or sudden breakups. Often it shows up quietly. He becomes emotionally distant. He stops opening up. Intimacy decreases. He starts seeking validation elsewhere. Sometimes not even from another woman, but from his career, his hobbies, or distractions. A 2020 report from the American Psychological Association noted that emotional neglect in relationships is one of the leading silent causes of male dissatisfaction, especially among men over 40. In fact, many men can't even name these emotional needs, but they feel the emptiness when those needs are unmet. Think about this. How many men have you seen who seem successful, even in loving relationships, but carry a silent weight? That weight is often the result of emotional needs being suppressed, not because they aren't loved, but because they aren't emotionally understood. Now imagine being the woman who can meet those needs, not with grand gestures, not with constant attention, but with clarity, calmness, and emotional insight. Especially for older women, this can be your hidden power. Let's break it down. Here are the 4 emotional needs that, when fulfilled, create a bond that is stronger than love itself. Number 1, the need for emotional safety. Men are often raised with the idea that they must be strong, stoic, or in control. So much so that by adulthood, many don't know how to be vulnerable, even with the person they love. But here's the twist. Emotional safety isn't about making him spill his heart. It's about making sure he knows he won't be judged if he ever does. An older woman who understands that her presence can be a safe space, who listens without interrupting, who doesn't rush to fix, and who never uses his vulnerability against him, gives a man something rarer than gold: peace of mind. A 2018 study from the Gottman Institute revealed that men are significantly more likely to stay in relationships where they feel emotionally safe to express fear, shame, or uncertainty, even more than relationships where romantic love is openly expressed. In a couples therapy case study conducted by Dr. James Cole, 2019, a 52-year-old man shared that for 20 years, he loved his wife but never felt safe enough to open up to her. When he met a woman in her late 40s who just listened without judgment, he said, "It was the first time I truly felt seen as a man. It wasn't about sex. It wasn't even about love. It was about emotional safety. Older women have the emotional maturity and patience to offer this, and it changes everything. Number 2, the need to feel admired. Love says, I care about you. Admiration says, I respect who you are. Men are wired to pursue, to build, to protect. But in the modern world, those instincts often get buried. And in relationships, many men quietly start to feel like their worth is based on what they can provide, not who they are inside. What men crave, especially from a woman they deeply respect, is to feel admired, not in a loud cheerleading way, but in quiet moments where you reflect his strengths back to him. I really admire how you handled that today. You're someone who doesn't give up easily. You always know how to bring calm when it's needed. A 2016 report from Men's Health Relationship Survey found that men ranked being admired by my partner as a top emotional need, above sex and above being told, I love you. That's powerful. And older women with life experience and wisdom often see the deeper value in a man, not just what he looks like or what he earns, but how he thinks, how he leads, how he treats others. That admiration fuels a man. It makes him rise. It makes him commit. Because love feels good, but admiration gives him purpose. By the way, if this is resonating and you've ever found yourself asking, why did he pull away when things were just getting good? We created something just for you. It's called the 7-Step Male Mind Decoder, and it breaks down exactly what's going on in his head, even when he won't say a word. You'll learn how to read the signals, spot real commitment, and stop second-guessing yourself. The link to download it is in the description, and yes, it's free. Number 3, the need for autonomy without emotional punishment. Here's something that isn't talked about enough. Men crave space, not because they're losing interest, but because it helps them feel like themselves. Many men feel trapped in relationships when their need for space is taken personally. A man might need a day to clear his head, a weekend to dive into his hobbies, time alone to process stress. When a woman allows this space without becoming cold or emotionally reactive, she offers him something rare, the freedom to return to her on his own terms. Older women often understand this better than younger women. They don't panic when a man pulls away briefly. They don't spiral, because they know that space doesn't always mean disconnection. It often means emotional digestion. In fact, Dr. John Gray, author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, wrote that men operate on a rubber band principle. They pull away but always come back stronger when not chased. When a woman respects his autonomy without guilt-tripping or neediness, the emotional payoff for the man is profound. He doesn't just feel loved, he feels free and respected. That emotional experience, it's more powerful than love. Number 4, the need to feel useful and needed. At the core of masculinity is the desire to contribute to a woman's life, to her well-being, to her growth. This doesn't mean dependency. It means that when a man feels that his presence adds value to your life, he feels emotionally fulfilled. A man wants to feel like his effort matters, that his advice helped, that his fixed attitude wasn't rejected, that he's not just a companion, but a contributor. In a longitudinal case study published in the International Journal of Aging and Human Development, researchers noted that older men in relationships where they felt needed and valued by their partners had higher emotional satisfaction scores, even when physical intimacy declined. When an older woman gives a man a reason to show up, not because she can't live without him, but because she wants to include him, he becomes more emotionally invested. You might say something like, I always feel safer when you're around. You have a way of making complicated things simple for me. I love how you bring perspective when I'm overthinking. These aren't manipulative lines. They're reflections of emotional truth. And when a man feels needed in a non-desperate, appreciative way, he builds emotional roots that no amount of romantic love can replace. Older women, this is your hidden superpower. So let's recap the 4 emotional needs men secretly crave more than love. Emotional safety, a judgment-free space to be vulnerable. Admiration, quiet, sincere respect for who he is. Autonomy, the freedom to breathe without emotional punishment. Feeling useful. Knowing his presence adds value to your life. These are not tricks or tactics. These are deep emotional truths. And while many women chase love, connection, and security, the women who understand these four needs create relationships that last beyond the usual definitions of romance. As an older woman, your experience, emotional maturity, and calm presence aren't just attractive, they're magnetic. You've lived enough to know that love can come and go, but emotional connection rooted in understanding lasts forever. If you want a man not just to fall in love, but to stay emotionally anchored and inspired by you, give him what his heart has longed for, but never knew how to ask. It's not more love, it's deeper emotional fulfillment, and you have the power to give him that. Not through effort, but through awareness. Because once a man feels emotionally fed in these four ways, he won't just love you, he'll never forget you. If you're tired of guessing what he's thinking, and you're ready to attract a man who actually shows up the way you deserve, go grab your free copy of the 7-Step Male Mind Decoder. It's helped thousands of women cut through the confusion and finally feel confident in love again. Just click the link in the description to get instant free access.